Welcome to Chasing Fi. Today we are going to talk about redisclosure of student loans. And I just learned how to articulate what's been happening in my account. As you know, I'm a little obsessed with the student loan topic. And the reason is because I have been digging into my account for the past few years and filing complaints and trying to get someone to listen. So, redisclosure. This is something that American Education Services is trying to do to my loan right now. You may remember from the previous video that I talked about how my monthly installment payment dropped over $200 and now it's dropped over $400. Why is that? It's not necessarily because they're doing a good job of cleaning things up. They're trying to hide things. And here's what they're trying to hide. They're trying to hide that they added a bunch of interest by redisclosing the loan over and over again. This is probably the third time that they've done it to my account. And then they get like a request for, like when you're consolidating, well, how much is this loan? What's left? And then they get the money and it's paid off, right? But before that happens, you need to sign off on the amount that they're sending. Well, I have not signed off on the amount because all of a sudden, like I said, my payment went down to $341 and then it went down to $69. Now, this is a problem because I can't get an explanation. But I think that at one point, like somebody didn't know I was consolidating. This guy, he responded to my question. I just said, my loan, my installment payment amount has changed rapidly over the past 2 weeks. What's going on? So he told me that my loan had been redisclosed. And I was like, huh, redisclosed, huh? So redisclosure means that your loan is basically recalculated to make sure that your extra payments are not moving you ahead to an earlier payoff date. Now, so I told you I've been making tons and tons of payments. Pretty much, $1,000. My monthly installment payment was $555.35. And I was making payments of $1,000 for about 2 years. And then I was just going crazy. I was making $6,000 payments. Like whenever I could, I was paying a big lump sum. I was doing balance transfers on 0% interest credit cards, all types of stuff. I was just doing whatever I could to pay it off. And so, of course, now that the loan is being consolidated, they have to go through the account. And going through the account, they they obviously ran into a problem because instead of facing the music and adjusting the account properly, here's what they did. They sent me a repayment plan, but it's a repayment plan for American Education Services. I only have one more payment with them. It's being consolidated and moved back to the federal government. But they sent me a repayment plan like I was going to still be with them. And the reason that they sent that is because they needed to change the repayment terms because I've paid too much money for them to keep me on the repayment plan that they have me on and then send it over to NailNet the way that it is. So what they did was they moved the payment term down from, it was originally 360, but then they moved it to 327 and now it's down to 248. So they moved down the payment term and then they dropped my monthly installment payment by over $200. Now what does that do? That extends the life of the loan. It means we're pushing you out further. So that's going to be more interest added to your principal. But here's another strange thing that they did. That $8,000, what's over $8,000, but let's just say $8,000. I think it's 8470 or something. So we'll just round it to 8,000. So $8,000. All of a sudden, I don't need to repay $8,000 of my unsubsidized loan. Now, why is that? That seems weird, right? Strange. So, this is the question that I had. I was like, so why don't I have to repay the full loan? Like the original loan balance was $49,894, but now I have to pay a little over $38,000. Why is that? Nobody could answer it. But think about it. I have paid a bunch of money and tried to put it toward the principal, and they weren't directing it there. So now they're taking this money off the back of the principal and they're saying, oh, well, you know, you only have to pay $38,000 and something to pay back your loan. But remember, my loan is being consolidated. So they haven't adjusted my account in any way in terms of money. Instead, what they've done is they still have the total amount that I need to repay listed in my account. But they're sending me a piece of paper that says I don't need to pay that amount. But I guarantee they're not sending it to NailNet. So I guess that their thinking is, well, we'll just keep that on there as interest by lowering the monthly installment payment. Once we lower the monthly installment payment and send all this information over, it's done. She's got to sign off on the amount that the loan is. So it's like putting pressure on me to sign off on a number that's not correct. So of course, I was right on it. I filed a complaint with the Department of Education. I also contacted AES and I said, no. I just found out what you're doing and no. But this is something that you need to be aware of because they will keep redisclosing your loan if you are paying extra. Now, my loan probably was redisclosed several times, and if I go through every single payment every year, I might be able to catch it. But at this point, I know it was redisclosed when I was switched from the standard, well, I guess it was the standard plan because I was in forbearance for forever. And then I was moved to the graduated plan because I could not afford the standard plan payment. And then I was moved to what they call a level plan. And that's when I started paying $550.35. But as I mentioned, I've always paid extra. Like since 2017, I've always paid extra. Always. So, where is that money going and why was the loan term still so far out, And I didn't want them to necessarily change it in the account. I just wanted to keep paying and then I would pay it off early. But that's not what was happening. They were still charging me the same amount, which was fine because I just wanted to pay it off. But now that they have to move the account, they've got to find a way to account for all this extra interest that they've added to the account. And one way to do that is to chop $200 off of the monthly installment. So no, I'm not going to stand for that. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. So redisclosure, you need to really be aware that this is something that goes on. It's not technically illegal, but they are supposed to let you know what's going on. They're not just supposed to send you a piece of paper and then not explain it. So if something like this happens, make sure that you get it explained. And if you are doing a direct consolidation, pay close attention. Go through your account. Keep everything because you're going to need it. All right, that's all for now. I'm actually kind of losing my voice. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.